Hello. How we doing? Hello. Had a little snag there for a second, and I'm so happy that we're all here tonight. Welcome. I'm gonna turn my music down a little bit, jamming heavy here. And I'm gonna mute myself. Not for you guys, but right over there so that I can read your chat. So, Greg is in the house, and hey, Lisa, Jackie, good to see you guys. I missed you. It's been a whole week, and actually, we went out of town, and there were lots of things where I could have carried on conversations with you guys, especially taking walks along dirt roads where there just so happened to be rocks on the road. It was terrible. Hey, off your rocka. And I think I'm missing some blind squirrel rocks. Good to see ya. I did say Jackie. Hey, Steve. Thanks for coming. Good evening, y'all. It's Friday. So stoked. And I'd love to hear how you guys are doing. Yep, everybody's saying hi to each other. I love it. So, hey, Ken, you guys getting smoked out? I mean, in a bad way? Like, is anybody not able to breathe where they are? Hey, Kirk, good to see ya. Yeah, you were in the Ochicos? Fantastic. Oh, I missed that place. We were just on the coast, just. Hey, Chris. So, how was the Ochicos, Kurt? And Chris, I've got some graveyard coming up, and so you'll probably recognize the material that I'm going to be looking at. And good to hear, Chris, that you're not totally in the smoke. Yeah, I was thinking about you. You liked it, Kirk, huh? Gotta love the Ochicos. Were you rock hounding, doing some geology? Speaking of smoked out, says Greg. I bet you are. Slumming it at sea level. Oh man. Yeah, exactly. Having a blast. Too much fun. All right, it looks like Randy slipped in. Yep, there he is. So hey, Sandmaker, good to see ya. I know you love some graveyard, Chris. You gotta be missing it. Well, I was going through some more of the rock jars, just taking them off of the wall. I've got some shelves of these rock jars that I know I wasn't really careful putting them up, and that's why we need to go through them. And so I was like, we haven't really done a whole lot of the plume, but I've got a whole lot of the plume that I gotta go through. And then we've got some moss agate from Maury Mountain. And so I'm wondering if Kirk made it that way, or if he was more in the northern Ochicos than the southern ones. Baker City geology on the way home. Sweet. Yeah, so some Maury moss agate, and then we're gonna get, you can see just right in the background there, we've got some of our fossils on deck. Sonia, good to see ya. And so we're gonna be revisiting one of the fossils from a couple weeks ago. Oh, sweet. Okay, so Jared just made it in, and I saw Maury. So this guy may. Oh, you're the one that you're talking about. I'm so excited that you might have just split from there, and or some guy. And I'll be looking forward to seeing your stuff, and you can see some that we probably collected, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. And who loves dust on their rocks? I mean, that's somewhat sacrilegious, isn't it? So we probably should dust them off and have a good look at them, and at the very least, figure out what's there. All right, Afya Raka has his popcorn ready. I love it. Cheers, everybody. So happy that you joined us tonight. Stein, Kern, Prost, Skull, all that good stuff. Kampai. Who knows what's in this camping mug? I mean, nobody knows. Not even, that's a rhetorical. Cheers. All right, love it. Okay, where should I put my drink? Because we've got to keep hydrated during the serious rock stuff that we do. Hey Kyle, good to see you. All right, and I did see Kyle's post for his live stream tomorrow, so definitely don't miss the fun over at Kyle's place. The party continues. And let's see, what else was I gonna ask y'all? Bring up. Yeah, so is anybody going rock hounding this weekend? I think somebody just chimed in, a couple people just chimed in that they have just come back, and so I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's spoils. That'll be fun. And if I miss a comment of yours that I really like, if it's a question or if it's something that you need me to see, good for you, Ken. H2O is a good way to go. Somehow SI gets in there too, huh? But yeah, if I miss a comment of yours, if it's a question, if it's a direction, definitely let me know. Somebody just came back from Polka Dot. Woo! I love it. That was a good time, Steve. Tell us about it. Okay, somebody's cheating. Jackie's cheating. Party at Kyle's place on October 14th. We were talking about this in the Discord. So those of you that have joined us tonight, and thank you so much for joining us. SiO2 in the H2O is the best way of life, for sure, Ken. So October 14th is a partial eclipse, I think. And it's going to be going over Kyle's house. And it actually should be going over my house too. But it is on a Saturday. And so how funny. I think it was Patrick that said it over on the Discord that October 14th, a party at your house, Kyle, for your live stream, because there's an eclipse. So we will all be hanging out, buying rocks, and hanging out and buying rocks and watching an eclipse. Yeah. That's how I read and talk at the same time. I'm not entirely sure if that's a good amalgam. So barbecue at the Rock Club tomorrow is what Greg's going to be doing. That's cool. I like that, Kyle. Like, totally acquiescent. Like, okay, cool. The eclipse can best be seen in Corvallis. Very cool. That's good to know. Maybe I'll have to come over. The last time we had an eclipse, it was the full eclipse here, and we almost missed it because of the fog, hanging right off of the coast. You never know if it's going to totally fully fog in or do it. I like it. Cool. Or if the... Okay, the annular is a full moon, or full sun eclipsage. Thank you, Chris. So, yeah, the one that we had a few years ago was amazing, and we just caught it here on the coast, and it was so weird because it got cold, and I mean, the sun goes away, and so I wasn't ready for it. It was a warm August morning, I think it was, and no, maybe it was July. Somebody refresh my memory of when our eclipse was, but it was warm, and so we were all hanging out, and then the thing comes, the moon comes along, and it obscures it. And so, yeah. I'm going to catch up here really quick. You were at the coast too, Lisa? Excellent. All right. You might have to come up and meet up with us all. That would be so cool. Chris, yeah. It'll be a big party. Yeah, October 14th is the day of the eclipse anyway. And I know, we're being serenaded by both Ken and Jared. Who knew that that was going to happen this Friday? All right. And so I think that maybe we should start off with the fossils and have a look at those guys, because I wanted to do the recap of one of the ones that was sitting in the acid. I had to halt the acid bath because I need to get some proper paraloid B72. I can see that I'm not going to be able to skimp on this, and so that should be in the mail. Been ordered, and so we can get on with it. Oh, it was at Depot Bay. Sweet, Lisa. Just catching up. All right. And Chris will be doing a cross-country trip from New York to California. I did put my light right behind my phone, and so I probably shouldn't be looking straight into the light. I feel like I'm squinting. Sandmaker's losing signal. I hate that when that happens. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do a dizzy whirl, and let's see, take you around the country and do this. All right. Now I'm going to try not to turn the phone off when I clip it in. Hopefully that'll work out. All right. There we go. Wow. Like there's a full stage show going on. You guys singing to each other. That's beautiful. Okay, so what we have here are a few of the fossils. Some of them you've seen before, some of you haven't. But I wanted to do some splaining here because we've got one of our superstars from a couple weeks ago, and that's this guy here. And he just, I kept him out of the acid because the acid was biting really kind of fast because it's such a small fossil. And so I also put up a little picture of it in the community. Okay, I'm supposed to do, okay, I'm gonna zoom. Can I zoom? And it's cruddy, and then I do this, and then I do this, and it's good. All right, thanks, Kyle. I love it when I learn things. So this is our guy from a few weeks ago, and we plopped him into the acid, and he lost quite a bit of weight. These two circles are looking way more alike than they were before. I mean, it almost looked like two frog eyes or something like that looking back at me when I took him out of the acid. And then I think I was referring during our podcast that you just gotta love friends, and it's really neat when like friend gifts fall into your lap. Well, one of my friends, not only did I get an incredible ball vise from them, but also they had this little engraver that they wanted to get rid of, and it had a fairly decently stout tip in it. And so guess what? I've been prepping with this little engraver, which is basically, it's this same thing, kind of like a knockoff of the Dremel graver. And so the little Dremel prep thing that Ma'am Lambo had done a demo on. We have really hard matrix, but for a little fish fossil like this is actually, that tool is doing pretty darn good. Let me see if I can't zoom in just a little bit more. So you can see I'm getting a level of exactitude out of this like cute kind of cheapy little machine that I didn't even dream of. So that's what I was working on. And then I actually did bore out some more. You just can't see the depth of my graving or prepping quite as much. Like I took quite a bit. Let me see if I can do that. Quite a bit out of this, whatever it is. So that all being said, we have quite a bit more showing. And before I wanted to hope that it was maybe, like we were talking about it being fish. It's most probably fish, as opposed to, say, a mammal or some other such thing. Not looking crabby, not looking shrimpy. So you can see I graved, or I prepped through here as well, starting to take some of that away. I don't think it's in like any kind of a reasonable articulation, or I think it's been messed around with. I think that these two things belong with each other, I believe, but I'm not sure what they are. So you guys have any guesses? Anybody? I think I'm missing some chat. I am missing some chat. So I'm going to let you guys just gaze lovingly upon that and make some guesses or think about it. And I'm going to catch up here really quick. Okay, so we have Souls in the house. And so welcome. Thanks for joining us. And I have Little Verts, and I totally like, look at this. Okay. Look at this over here. Like I want to think that some of it might be kind of articulated or whatever, but I don't know. It's hard to know if it's associated. And yet, you can kind of start imagining some things for sure. Let's see. So I'm sorry, I'm looking at the computer trying to catch up. They could be scales. This could be something large format, and so those are scales, or it could be small format, and those could be like facial bones, those big flat parts of the skull of the face. I don't know. All right, Chris almost got his graver. Get one. Seriously, I'm having a blast. Some small format stuff totally seems like it's doable. Looks like fish scales to Lisa too. So this is very possibly what it is. They're glassy, and most of the things that come from the fish, including their whole skeletons, are glassy. And so I'm going to show you some examples here really quick. Unprepped, of course, because they're in my collection, although that's not going to last for long now. It's not a penguin. Greg wins. Not a penguin for the win. It's not a crab. And also, wrong answers only, right? Okay, you guys, there's my community post, so you can do the wrong answers there. That would be great. All wrong answers only. Okay. I think I missed some comments from a little while back. I'll probably end up watching this again just so that I can catch up on the comments. It could be an animal barfed or pooed this stuff out. And so I'm going to use that as chupacabra scales. Yes. Who just said that? Chris, nice. That was like my total jam for when I was in Arizona, was everything, was chupacabra oriented squid head. Aw, squid beak. That would be awesome. It would be cool. It is fascinating. Regardless, like even if it's shrapnel, because Kent did show me some like pure shrapnel, but he did also show me like some stuff that was like put together correctly, that was in the matrix material. So, not jumping to any conclusions at this moment in time. So, anyways, poop, because Lisa. So, we do find a fair amount of coprolite out here. I had a really nice little nubbin of it. Yeah, I used it. I think nubbin can be multi-use for sure. So, yeah. And what's going to be fun about stuff like this is when I have some time, I will definitely put some of this under the microscope and see what goes on this way. And here's some more of that same texture. These rocks really look alike as far as the texture goes. And so it'll be fun to kind of go through the material and see what's in there. You can only imagine there's probably lots of little bones and little things that belonged to animals from before. And so when I was talking about this guy, I was referring to the glassiness of the material. And so you can see it. Whoa. You can see it shining. Boop, boop, boop. There it is shining. Here's, I don't know, like a cervical vert or something like that I started prepping. And then, of course, I halted it because I needed the B72 for this one, too. And you can see it's raised, but you can see the very delicate. It's very glassy, though, also, like that other guy. So, catching up really quick, nubbins of coprolite. That's right. Yeah, see, we're going to have a whole lexicon unto ourselves, and nobody else will understand a word that we're saying. But, we'll be inspired, so I don't think it's going to matter. Fully opalized what in Australia, Ken? Are coprolites? Opal coprolite would be like really something. Let's see. Oh, probably a belemnite. Let's see. Listen to the disappointment in my mouth. They're like, okay, that would be great. That fossil that would be fossilized instead of it being a coprolite that is a fossil also. Let's see. Catching up. Second breakfast. Right? Opal poop. Okay. I missed whatever started the breakfast club. But I like the idea. See the symmetry there? It's kind of a nice fossil, and I have yet way more to go before I'm absolutely sure what it is, although y'all are welcome to take a guess. But I was thinking some kind of big bird or something. Big fish. Opal poop. If you eat the opals, you poop opals. Oh, talk to like Ochiko. He was the big rock eater in the family. And so another one that has a lot of glass to it is this guy here with some really, really different looking patterns around its what's showing. And so how cool would this be if we have a little skull here? And so I'm really, yes, time to swim in the acid again. Exactly. And this one's gonna go in for a dunk. As soon as I can preserve what I have showing with the B72. And then I don't know, I might even be tempted to do some hammering with that new little graver that I have and get this bad boy started because this is exciting to me. I really have high hopes for this guy. Waffles for dinner. I love it. You know, I like breakfast for dinner more than I like breakfast for breakfast. And my favorite breakfast is probably pizza. I got it all wrong. Fossilized sea biscuit. I like it. Yeah, I think that this one is going to be really awesome, Chris. And it does look skull-like a bit, squirrel. I hate to get all wishy before the washy because after we wash it in the acid, it might scatter my wishies. But we're gonna play this thing out. We're gonna find out. And here's another one. I feel like that's looking back at us. Doesn't it look like like a cute little baby dragon's head? Um, so this one has a lot of character and I can't wait to get at this one also. You can see as far as the size goes that I could probably get in with this with the acid and the graver pretty right away also. There's not a whole lot showing and so I could probably even give this an acid bath right away and get like the first stage kind of taken care of before getting the B72. So what is your vote? Would you get into this right now? And that's like rather big cell structure. So we might be not looking at something as cool as a skull, but who knows? Kind of reminds me of Scrat from Ice Age. Yeah, totally, right? It's got tons of character. So that one's it might be a little bit hard to prep this one just because I like its face. I like looking at its face right now. And you guys have seen this scoot, probably anyway, most of you. French toast and crumpets. That sounds like civilized. With crumpets, no less. Yep. That's the dream menu right there. You got it, Ken. Spirit guide. Yeah, right? I need a good spirit guide on the end of my walking stick, Greg. Ken, what were you talking about as far as the one before this one? Or the one before this one at this point, probably. I would get it with the engraver first. Lisa, she's my girl. Want some instant grat along with me? Yeah, I think so. Crepes. Yeah. Is that like a grandma thing, Jackie? My grandmother made crepes too. They were delightful. And she would make both sweet ones and savory ones. They were so good. Oof. I think I didn't have dinner, so shoot. You guys are gonna be making me some hungry. Two back at this point looked like a frog skull. Ooh. Was it this one, Ken? Because that would be insane. Or was it this one? I think I had gone on to this one, huh? Can't remember now. Seems like ages ago. Gotcha. All right. Well, we're going to find out, Ken. Oh, Rufo, dude. Yes, modify your recipe so that you can have them too. I mean, you can't have like rice flour with that or almond flour. My dad uses almond flour and it really, really makes some delicious stuff. Okay, so this is a scoot, an ancient scoot from one of those big river guys. I always forget their names, and somebody in the chat always remembers what they're called for me. But I'm going to probably start prepping this over again because all I really wanted to do, I think I'm going to leave this part and I just want to take the tops off and leave it fairly, just take some of this off and take some of that off so you can see more of the scoop, but leave some of the matrix behind just to hold it together. Sturgeon. Yeah, why can't that, like, it's just a weird word. You know how there's some words that like you say them enough times you're just like, how did anybody arrive at sturgeon for a thing? It's kind of like a yeah. I've obviously overthought the word and then promptly forgotten it. So sturgeon. And this one was interesting. I was looking at it and it wasn't a bone pile, but I don't think that's bone. Anybody want to wager what they think that is? Gluten-free Bisquick, huh? That works. Like a sturgeon. Yeah, I like it. Chris's comedy hour right now. I love it. Okay, so yeah, they are ugly, weird, prehistoric looking fish, right? And so maybe sturgeon just goes along with that flavor of weird prehistoric fish. So maybe we need to get in closer. I thought that was cellular. That is rather close. I took you all the way there. Weird Al territory there, big time. Lisa comes up with wood. I'm not sure if it's palm, but it's wood. This side, we can see some better suggestion of the fact that it's been Toritoed, but look at how tiny that is. Like I'm gonna pan back out just so that you can see how small. Like I don't usually come into contact with Torito pores that are that small. Now it could be palm wood, whereas then those are just the regular weird pores, right? And it does look cellular. And so I was looking kind of close up to areas where I could catch some of the detail. Let's see how close we can get for you. That looks like possibly stacked cells coming horizontal to your frame. You can see like where they are stacked. Like it would be the xylem, that has like kind of a linearity to it in the, like they're dark and light. Is that where the baby clams hatched? So possible. How fascinating. And palm is a good guess. So we have a wood, but I don't know if it's palm or if it's Torito. I'd be singing like Weird Al Karen about like wood excitement if this turned out to be some palm, because that's a fun thing to find at this beach, because we don't imagine it having a different climate, but it most certainly did. And so finding some remnants of the different climate would be outstanding. Is it oolitic or orbicular? Yeah, I don't think that it's like an oolite situation. Um, I'm pretty sure that what's in there, and I can do a microscopic test. Great question. Actually, I can do a microscopic test of what is in the what's filling those cellular voids, if they are cellular voids or the little baby clam voids. I speculate that it is going to be the matrix material, and I'm probably going to find all sorts of little forums and that sort of thing up in that structure there. But I could be wrong. If it's oolitic, then it would have a different kind of crystalline structure. So Ken's voting for Palm as well. Boy, I sure would be. I would be darn Twitter pated over that, you guys. First ever piece of petwood on the beach here the other day. Oh, that's cool, Ken. And Lisa thinks it looks like Palm as well. Yeah, congrats on that, Ken. That is very cool. I guess we're gonna have to see some of that on the Discord. I do need to whip out the microscope. I'm gonna need to take a sample and throw a slide together, and so that can I'll make a note and we can check that out the next time that we get together, guys, if you're into it. I mean, that's only if you're into it. I don't want to bore you guys with the microscope or anything. Am I zoomed out? I just don't want to see that. Okay, so here, did you guys see Ken's like awesome little whale ear, or we think anyway, pretty sure, ear bone that that he posted over on the Discord? And so, yeah, thin slice will be coming up. You know, I gotta stop making gems on the faceting machine and get on with the thin section thing. That was supposed to be the whole objective of getting that toy, and I seem to be like not able to stop making the sunstone gems, and so I apologize to everyone. I gotta take a break. So this is kind of a trippy thing. So, whoa, that just happened so fast. So this has a very kind of trippy chalcedony. Can you see in there that it's got like that kind of weird, but it feels, as far as the actual rock, it doesn't feel like chalcedony, it feels more organic. I picked this up because I thought I was looking at a bone, and so I'm wondering, if I prep this, if out comes an ear bone. Anybody, what do you think? Could it be? It's got some interesting organic looking other details, and so yeah, never apologize for having fun here. I think what we're all here for. And so, yeah, I think that this one needs an acid bath ASAP. Yours was a denser bone than I normally see. Yeah, Ken, this is what I'm feeling about this. Like, it has like a very organic feel to it, and yet it's definitely not regular bone, and yet it doesn't seem like it's just chalcedony, like a concretion of rock. Which is like, I have taken a rock out of a rock, like gotten excited about what was inside a concretion, and it turned out to be a rock, and I was like, wow, a rock concreted, that's just not rad. And that one I just split open with a sledgehammer, and so it just got crushed. It was not worth my time. So you're not seeing ear bone. Lisa doesn't feel ear bone. That would be cool, though. Yes, I agree, Soul. You can't tell the difference between a near bone or a ham bone. Yeah, I hear ya. I'm kind of feeling that way myself. Like if it struck me in the head, even, which I've said a few times. And so, oh, and somebody just entered. Oh, there's Rocky Mountain Bear. I love it. Like, thanks to you guys for saying hi to people so that I know somebody is snuck up on in here. Yeah, and so we're gonna go ahead, and I guarantee that we are prepping this in the acid, and we shall find out if it is nothing or if it's an air bone. And I'm kind of excited about it. Like even if it turns out to be a rock, I don't have to worry about this going away in the acid. I don't have to preserve this because that's some pretty tough material, and so I'll keep an eye on it. I promise. But yeah, we're doing that. Okay, moving on. Almost done with the fossils, and then we'll move on to some rocks. So I have this little pile here. I can't remember if I showed you guys this or not, but it's a nice little bivalve, and it has this super cool druzy centered, spiral gastropod up in here, and somebody else got here. Oh, Jim, hey, and Kurt, hey. Wow, thanks for joining, guys. So I loved this, and I thought, oh, it would be super cool to prep it, but then I don't want to take this particular thing apart. And so I think I'm going to leave this as it is. I think it's just a cool specimen to leave. Maybe polish this guy. Not sure. But I oftentimes, you've heard everybody like, I won't cut it until I find a big one. I found this guy. And you can see that I think it's a Calicantharus carlsoni, just like this guy. And it's just got this little window, but like, let me see if I can take you in there. Can you guys see the big crystals that are going on? I'm going to try to get the light to shine, and maybe we can even go a little, whoa, that's really close. So there's crystals in there. And I think that this one would be a super fun one to prep and find out what it looks like on, okay, zoom out, see what it looks like on the outside. This one started off kind of like that, except for you can see like the wear is almost identical. Like that's where they like to wear out. And so who knows, maybe there's like crystals and stuff like that inside this one too, but that's what they look like when it's prepped out. This is about what this one looked like before I got started. And so I think that this will be outstanding looking prepped out. All right, so I'm gonna catch up here really quick. Let you look at this guy for a little bit. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Ken, about excavating part of it. Oh, and Kim's here. Hi, Kim. So I might think about that. Meanwhile, I've got this one to work on, and if I really like the way that this one worked, but a lot of times, excavating part of, say, something like this, like what you're trying to get to is to see what the rest of the shell might look like. So I could get down kind of low and like save something that sticks it to the rest of this. And then I might find out actually what's going on in here too. That might be something interesting. We're just seeing an indescript kind of top, I think. I don't know. That could get really good. And actually this is a softer matrix than, you can even see how much softer it is than this guy in comparison. Much more large grain, and it actually crumbles away a lot easier. So that's one that I could probably do with the engraver. And I just brought this one along as another example of what happens when you do a prep from the shell. This one is this one, not prepped. And I'm waiting to find one that's bigger than this one so that I can prep this one, because I would love to see. This is in such darn good condition, you guys. I can't wait to see what that one looks like on the inside. But I won't do it until I find a better specimen. Them's the rules. Oh, one last one. So this one's a guesser for you guys also. It's big. Let me bring it over here. So here's my hands, and you can see that it's like, it's as big as. And so I want to say that this guy is about, let me see if I can take this up a little bit. I'm sorry, the camera's on a clip, and so it's sort of set where it is. But yeah, that's about the bigness of this rock, and you can see the tail end of this thing, right? And you can go ahead and make your guesses right now if you want to. So cool how well your prep turned out. Thank you, Kim. Thank you so much. Yeah, the shells are, oh man, they're addictively fun, but they take a lot of time. And so I have to like warrant why I'm doing it. And so I'm trying to find different species of shells so that I can warrant taking the time, you know, to create the proper collection. Thank you. And so we have a vote for maybe horn coral, a turnip. That's a good answer. Like a petrified turnip. I love it. And clearly a parsnip. Yeah, great minds are thinking alike there, I would say. No clue, but yeah. Okay, so as you guys saw when I was a little bit farther away, it's just embedded. And this circular thing here in the middle makes me think that we're looking down the core of something, thus the parsnipery, right? And so I have a feeling that I need to go like straight in, like, you know, just trying to uncover the sides isn't going to help me out much. This might be one where I just take a sledgehammer to this, because this doesn't look like it's going to break. Like, those are famous last words, of course, but circle with a spoke pattern. Exactly. And so let me see if I can get you guys closer. Whoa. I'm sorry. This is like a trigger. Okay, so is that focused okay for you guys? So there's your closer look. Parsniperies, new science, right? Yeah, we have nubbins of parsnipery. Too close, yeah. It's a narwhal tusk. Wouldn't that be the bomb? Yes, I'll take it. And so, you know what I am kind of thinking when I look at it, when it's good and focused like that? Thank you, Kurt. It could very easily just be like an ancient stick that got caught in a concretion, a nudibranch. Okay, like I'm gonna Google nudibranch fossils, because I'm wondering if they exist, because that would be super cool. The nudibranchs that we have around here are so like these little sea creature gems. They're so beautiful to see in the surf, like in the tide pools. So it does look like a branch. I probably was thinking it while you were typing it. So I also, when I was over at Kent's, you guys are going to hear that preface to a lot of sentences, I believe, in the future. But I saw some concretions that he had that had the pine cones in them. And this looked so much like the butt end of a pine cone that, yeah, I don't think that they fossilize well. Kind of like the jellyfish, but you never know. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they did find a fossil jellyfish. I think, you know, something like that, it would have everything to do with how quickly that little organism got compacted into the sedimentary rock and had no oxygen available. And so some of the volcanic events, shut that sort of thing down pretty quick. Could be a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I agree. Anyways, so I was kind of speculating that just given the variation of what's going on around it, that there's a possibility that we have a pine cone. And so I'm going to, and I don't know if you guys follow Marlena on the Instagram over there, but she feels like she has she posted a question about an agate that looks like it's got a fossilized, potentially pine cone in it as well. And so I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. Wow, that's very, very blurry. Okay. And blur out to segue. Kind of see the pine cone. Like, that's why I want to break it. I just want to break that thing. Okay, everybody hold on to the waffles that you had for dinner. Sorry if I'm making you sick. Zoom back out. There we go. And let's go swimming. Got some moss agate here. Change the lighting. Got some nice greens. This is from Maury Mountain. Okay. And while you guys gaze upon some of that beauty, I'm going to see if I can't get a little bit more caught up. You like the sleuthing, Kim? Good. Yeah, too close again. My phone screen just loves to, like, I touch it. I get like anywhere close to it and it seems like it just zooms. Oh, Chris was gonna guess pine cone. Well, Chris, I like that guess. I really, really would love that to be exactly that. Okay, I'm not gonna push you in the water, Lisa, if you can't swim. So what I got set up for us here is a bin of, now you guys can probably already tell that it's not just Maury Mountain Moss Agate, because there's some like, there's definitely an imposter that I can see right from the get-go. We have from nearby some limb cast. Wow. Like I said, I just touch it and it goes crazy. But that's some pink limb cast from over in the Paulina area. And you can see how, like, a lot of times they don't look pink until you put them next to something else. And then you're like, oh my gosh, that is every bit the pink that they advertise. So I'm going to get some more light over here, but try not to add another circle to what's going on. Water wings, yeah. Pineapple and coconut ice cream? Is that even allowed? Oh, that sounds so good. Yeah, I have like the ska and reggae going on in the background because I want it to be warm and beachy. That's what we were trying to do while we were going down the coast. It's always warmer, like by degrees as you move down the coast. Like where we were was easily 10 degrees warmer than we are here. Yep, I guess that's as far out as I can get. Yeah, we were doing some wing boarding, some wing foiling, which was amazing. But and coconut and pineapple always reminds me, those flavors always remind me of beach things, of course. So here's a big piece of the Maury Mountain moss sitting right up here at the top. One of the things that is an upside of the Maury moss is that it has the tendency to have big moss and a lot of agate. But it's usually fairly dense as far as the amount of moss that's running through it. So those of you that like the like teeny weeny dendritic, tendrils reaching up through mostly agate, we don't have a whole lot of that over at Maury. I'm a big fan of like super chunky moss like what we have here, and this is actually a fairly big chunk of it as well. And I saw send your pic to Discord. Oh, you sent a pic. Oh, excellent. Hopefully, nope, that looks like a PM. So I don't know who that goes to. I'll have to figure that one out later. Might have an extra pair of water wings. Excellent. Yeah, you need the water wings here in Portland or anywhere in Oregon, pretty much. All right. Yeah, this is some gorgeous stuff. It's fairly reliable when we cut it. It's going to be good. And so one of the reasons why I wanted to get into this is that I love carving this material, and I also love working with it, in cabs and that sort of thing. But I really, really want to start doing some pairings of the sunstones with, I really think moss agate and sunstone is going to be a pretty thing to put together. So another thing, here's a sweet little piece. So what I'm doing right now is actually, I'm shopping this pile for pieces that I want to work with. I want to do some sunstones where I can actually take the agate and sculpt it and embed the setting for the gemstone in it. And so I don't know if you've seen stuff like that. Zooming in on my phone looks amazing. Good, Kim. Don't need water wings at Hampton. Yeah, that's definitely the desert. But boy, when it rains, it rains a fury. That is for sure. What did I name my fastening machine? I don't have a name for it, guys. I'm still needing a name. If anybody has ideas, I'm open. All right, Chris. Yeah, I bet my dogs are sitting by the door trying to hold it as well. Oh, you just upped the video quality. Yeah. So that's a good reminder, actually, Rocky Mountain Bear, is if you feel like it's kind of on the weird pixelated side, you might want to try that. Okay, so I'm going to try something here. I'm going to bring the light over. Let's have a look at that. Okay. Woo. Yeah. So, get another interesting look at it. It's pretty detailed. I love moss agate. How cool. And I think that there's something very, very charming about how every piece is going to be a complete individual. No two can ever be the same. How good is that coming in? Woo! Do we have an over brightness situation? Maybe for that. Let me see something here really quick. You guys are so helpful being patient while I'm trying new things. I'm not sure that changes things all that much. Nope, it doesn't. Okay. Right? Like, yeah, how lovely. Look at the fancy light bar. The light bar costs $10 at Gross Out, you guys. Get one while they last. Let's see. Okay, so one of the things that I think is really interesting, I'm going to move this here for a second because you guys don't want to look into the light.
back to this. So we have this interesting thing that happens out here. You know the moss agate that has the opal, and it's like kind of a misnomer to call it moss agate because it doesn't have the fortification lines that proper agate should have. We have this like amalgam. Now, I don't know if the minerals are just making the tubes around the dendrites, if those are opal or if they're just weight. But I absolutely love this material, and it polishes a dream sickle. So that's some gorgeous. I'm catching up on the chatters. Yeah, you see the tubes. It's a moss opal. Yeah. Yeah, but you can see like the clear of the agate too. So is it moss agate? Agate? A mopal. I like that much better. Ken got it. Yeah, moss opal. Okay, so I wonder if it will ping our bar. That's one way to know. So yeah, that's fairly dense material, which is again leading me to feeling like that's probably opal as opposed to, some kind of a mineral coloration of the agate. I dig that. Nopal from Oregon. I love it. Hey, Sean. Good to see you. All right. Yeah. Hey, Sean, if you see anything that you like, let me know. Your box is still open. I was going to send it off tomorrow. So we're looking at moss agate, and so we've got some plume on deck. Okay, so remember how I was just talking about the moss agate that isn't really agate because it's not got fortification lines? This is not that. So this is, we find quite a bit of this out here at the Maury and thereabouts. And so here is a really nice, that's druzy. If it wasn't all wet, it would be sparkling and smiling at you and being brilliant. And then you can see the fortification lines of the agate. And so we definitely have agate here. No worries about, calling that animal what it is. And then you've got some really, really nice mossing. So one of the problems that we have with the Maury Moss Agate is that, so that's the outside rind, by the way, so that would have been touching the rhyolite or the dirt or whatever this particular seam set up in. We oftentimes find it transitioning with rhyolite in this particular area. So one of the problems that we have with it is sometimes it can be a little rotten. Like the amount of this mineral that is in here setting up the mossing can be undercuttable, and it can be downright difficult. There can be so much of it that it like the piece won't even shine. This one's another really dense one, and yet you can see these, like the way that it fractured, it's a good quality piece. The ones that are very, very mossy that aren't going to polish well will not break with such even kind of geometric faces like this. Oh, look at that. That's such a cool little detail in there. There's some more of that opal, I think. So all of this was probably from, within an acre or two of each other in this particular batch. And so I wouldn't be surprised at all. This jar was of its same timeline when we were rock hounding. Okay, catching up on the chat. I'm gonna leave you with this beautiful scene right here though, while I'm doing that. Yeah, there's even voids, which is a bummer. So like it almost like verges on rotten rock. Which is interesting. I think that the Hampton Butte stuff, which also oftentimes happens right next to rhyolite flows, does the same thing. Like it can be rotten towards the edges, and then it gets of better fidelity as you come in. Let's look at this one really quick on the light bar. Yeah, that's dense. That's thick, baby. You're just seeing the edges. Yeah. So that one, I might do like a little cut through the middle and make like an earring pair out of that guy though, because that's actually you look at it in the light, that's some nice material. And I'm sure once it's cut a bit thinner, it'll have like just a free-for-all of a wild time. As far as some nice moss play. You're on a break from most mosses? Oh, yeah. Yeah, contaminating your wheels. Yep. You gotta definitely be careful. Let's see. Bringing this back so that you guys have something pretty to look at while I'm... See, quite a bit of that material with the white flanking the mineral inclusions like a tubularity. I'm totally making up vernacular, you guys. It's a tubularity. It's also surf lingo. That's seriously dense. Yes. Let's see where we at. Oh, and I think, did I say hello to Bob? Hi, Bob. Bob's Rocks is here. Totally tubular, bruh. You got it. That's what we're doing. That'd be a soft nard. Totes gnarly. Shaka. Yeah, that's pretty much what we were doing on our little vacay. Check this out. So this has come, I love you guys. How much fun. So this is what I'd be looking for exactly if I was going to carve. So guess what? I found it exactly. It's got some interesting terrain, and so this would be something that I would polish by hand. And the pay dirt on that is that, like, I get this really interesting shape. I get some kind of neat terrain there, as you're seeing. And then I'm thinking, like maybe right there square in the center, that divot, I could plop a sunstone in a setting, and just the hole that comes up from below would probably, I love tube setting these days, and so tube set a sunstone in there. I think that would be cool. Does that mean you guys would agree, you think? So that's the back side. And I mean, look at it, like there is a lot of mossy goodness going on in there. I just am dying to see what that would look like. Okay. Took a screenshot, subbed you to Bob's Rocks, so I'll be sure to message you. Sub to you. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. That's business going on in the chat. All right. So light bar. Shall we saunter on over to the light bar? Yep. A little farther out. There we go. And so yeah, that's for sure. And so that void in the middle seems like a great place to plant a sunstone, and then just go ahead and clean up the rest of the stone. That's when I'm talking about carving. Boop, you guys saw this a couple weeks ago. So I just went with the shape of what this stone wanted to be, and it worked out. And so that's kind of the same approach that I'd have with something like that. That's effective. Why am I not doing that, you guys? I could be showing you both the cool lit view and the transparent view at the same time. You guys are so smart. You guys just discovered that, huh? Thank you. Wow, that's outstanding. It looks like seaweed or something in there. Can you tell I'm digging this rock? Might have to start that tomorrow. I think it's going to be thick enough. That's the only thing is I run into a little bit of like rut-row if I drill there. But I think that's 5 millimeters, and it'll lose some weight during the carving. I think it'll work. The rock is whispering to me, I want to be carved by you. And so, okay, that one goes to the side. Okay, getting the light out of your eyes. Although I like this idea, though, that you guys came up with, as far as being able to look at the stone and maybe get it backlit at the same time. Some more of that gloopy globular stuff. Pretty. But yeah, see how we can see through it? I love that. Yeah, I treated you guys to the thought process. And I was curious as to know whether or not that was working for you. Because not everybody wants into my brain. And I get it. Like, that might be sketchy. And so, we all thought out loud for this guy. And this one turned out like, I was so excited about this. Lisa's little white opal with the boulder opal there. And so, yeah, we'll be putting together some jewelry pieces, and you guys can see this start to finish happen. Okay, so here's another interesting candidate. Gloopy globular stuff. Yeah, what is she talking about? So without the light, it is doing this, which another thing that I love about the Maury Mountain Moss Agate is that it seems like the agate picks up like a blue tint from whatever, the valence probably of the joining minerals is, because it even seems like it when it doesn't have, like, sometimes you can just explain something like that away to, because it's got the backing of a mineral with it, that you end up with, kind of like the black opal gets to be black opal in a boulder opal because it's got a total backing to it. Here, until I backlight it, which is normal for a blue opal even, to turn kind of like an amber yellowish. Yeah, we've got some neat blue, and so that one also looks like it probably has a druzy center. Let's go back to that. We have some nice clarity. That's the back. So we have kind of reefs of the moss going through here, and that might be an interesting piece to work with. It's large, too big for jewelry right at this second, at least the kind of jewelry that I like to make. but I think that brought down a little bit. This guy could be another one where there might be a really cool pairing, and like the sun might be like, if we took some of that away, the sun might be, setting into this ocean reef type thing, which I think would be really neat. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and ponder that thought while I catch up really quick. All right, Chris, thanks for hanging out, and thanks. Say hi to your partner and wind down. Have a good time winding down. Yeah, you're gonna love coming back to this coast so that you can stay up later. So everybody's saying good night. Toad's back. Yeah. The Mr. T style agate coming from the dude that wears the pizza slice. Yes, Jared. I'm tempted with a few pieces to make some serious statements, and so I might have to cave under the pressure there. I pity the jewel. You said that, Ken. You just said that. I love it. Oh, groan. No, that was good. That was good. Pity the jewel. All right, moving on. Here's a really saturated piece. And again, this would be a great carver because it's got plenty of room, plenty of depth. Look at the world that's going on in there. It's got some of the opal. Lots of variety. Look at those sweeps. Almost like, like a paisley here. I'm going to turn this off really quick so that we can kind of see the color. That's pretty neat. It's kind of in and out of focus. Shoot. Oh, I wanted this to be the top. But look at what's going on here. Like, one of the cool things about moss agate is not seeing the moss on the surface. You want to see it in the agate, like it wants to be swimming. There's some kind of neat swimming in there, and you can see there's a druzy pocket right there. This would be another piece that I'd be tempted to leave in a very free-form way, so keep as much of that original shaping as possible, and then find the area probably right there. There's a natural divot. Like, find an area in which to put the gemstone. I've got a broken stone here, right? I can try it with. Yeah. Stand by. Thanks for bearing with me. So, something to that effect. It's not going to stand up. But you get it. This is what we do, guys. This is how we make the sausage. I don't know. I think that something like that would look pretty neat, but it would have to be embedded a little bit farther in, or I'd have to make a space for it from the side. But I like the idea of completely encasing it in there. So, you know what sucks? Breaking stones. And boy, these sunstones absolutely love to fracture upon polishing and upon setting. And so you might think that you're on the home stretch and you can still completely ruin it. I'm going to get this wet again. We're going to put it. Yeah. So there's a look at that side. Okay. Catching up. Which member of the A team are you? That's a great question for everyone. I'm totally wondering, who identifies with what member of the A team, and then of course we're all totally dating ourselves by knowing about it whatsoever. All right. And that's what you get for thinking. Okay, so here's another one really quick. Turn that off. Look at that. Will you look at that? Look at that, people. Do you want to get closer? I sure would. Am I framing that good for you guys? Okay, so you can see that that's druzy there. That's got some schmutz in it. So I need to do some schmutz cleaning. That looks like you know, like it did when it came out of the ground. Like there's some dirt in there. But what a nice you know, lake system of agate that is flowing through this piece like a, you know, just center stage. Make the back be, you know, there-ish so that we can see that and have its own sort of natural mountain facet to it. Was there a Z team? Nice. Ultrasonic cleaner. Okay, sign me up. I need another toy. And there's some clarity to this too, even though, like, look at how fat that is. You know, I would have to do a lot of work to take the extra weight off, do some serious grinding, but I think that this piece would be worth it. Like, I'd pre-work it probably on the flat lap and get this, you know, sort of shaped up and get maybe some of the harder layers taken care of and then go into a carving, I think. And then again, you know, just plant a sunstone someplace. I'm so excited about that. Like, let's bring our wobbly sunstone back. Our wobbly like seriously broke my heart. You broke my heart. I'm going to put it upside down. That'll work. And it'll sit there. Like, wouldn't that be cool? Could be there. Or maybe it's like right in that pocket right there. That. Right in there. Come on, sit down. Get down. There. Maybe that. You know what's funny is sometimes when I start setting up jewelry pieces, like I start seeing faces and stuff like that that I can't unsee. So there's that. Such a great piece. Some decent ones for 25 to 30 bucks. Rocky Mountain Bear. All right. Thank you for that. I actually, that I can do. I might need to look around for that because that would be helpful. This is drying up just enough that you can start. Some of the druzy was just glimmering at me. I love, 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 love druzy and faceted gems together because you have the natural facets and then you get the ones, you know, like everything is like shooting glimmers into your eyes, like naturally, and then the ones that the facets that you made. And so, okay. That's going to the side as well. I'm pumped on that one. All right, so back to this. We'll do one more, and then we'll go to our plume. So there's some stuff in here that does not belong. You can see these guys, and these are not Maury Mountain. This is some material actually that I got. Wow. Did I just do that? I think that actually does sort of fit together. That's weird. So yeah, this is like kind of like a floral pattern agate. Not even exactly sure where it came from. We found it in a discard pile. Sorry, I got tempted, you guys. I picked up this piece because look at how ready already that is. I mean, it's just it's a very, very thin carver, but I could carve this up in like no time at all. It would lose about a third of its weight because it's so thin on the sides, but oh my gosh, this would be on fire. How much fun would this like little guy be? And it would be not the Mr. T necklace, but maybe a Mr. Z. Look at that. Look at you, strappy beauty. Huh. Oh, dog hair. Sorry. That is awesome. That's so wild. This is the problem with sorting rocks. This is why I cannot finish the job. Okay, that goes to the side. But yeah, those other guys didn't belong because they're like this kind of a floral plume agate, and I'm not entirely sure where it came from, but it's really pretty and it's really fun to work with. I think that's a little bit more of it right there, maybe. Nope, that's the moss agate. Anyway, okay, shall we move on? That's good fun. Okay, so I cleaned out 3 pieces from that and then a couple workers. And so that was, I'd say that's pretty good. All right, an oval cab. So like one of the things that as a lapidary artist that I love is the ability to do freeform, because there's so, like, when I was not so much a lapidary artist and I'd go and buy gems at the gem show and that sort of thing, that's what you get, is mostly ovals and circles and that sort of thing, which is great. But like, I'm trying to move the circles out of your viewpoint so that you guys can just see rocks. I'm not being very successful though. And so what I was saying is that I think that a dog just came in here. Okay, so it's interesting to be able to work with shapes that you can't buy as a jewelry artist, so that it's like as I'm working a stone, I can be thinking about what kind of setting could be very creative and go with it. Nothing against ovals and circles, because the gems that I'm making right now that are faceted gems are exactly that. But there's something about free form that like that guy. You can make symmetry out of asymmetry, and that's just exciting. And so this guy, this is some plume that, Jared, how do you really feel about that? Yeah, they're fun. Nothing against the oval, Sonia, but that's just my my thinking about how I can make some unique choices. And so this is some graveyard point, but is not what you usually see at a graveyard. There was a certain area of vein that was presenting with a lot of marcasite, and it was turning it like blues and purples. It'll turn it green too, but it's really it's subtle marcasite, not the big crystals. It's just teeny weeny, and so it does this little lavender dance in there that is really cool. And so this is kind of like more Jupiter storm than I would say the usual plume that you would find in graveyard. But there's some really gorgeous things still going on. I was excited about this material because after seeing a whole bunch of plume, I was excited to see something different. You find so much material out there. And so anyways, that's like a big chunk of it to give you an idea of how that can present. Very, very fun to work with. And it cleaves off really interesting too. So you end up, if you're breaking, because I was breaking pieces off, you can imagine that the natives probably really enjoyed using this for weapons, because it just, it's harder, but it flays like the obsidian does. And so you can see some tiny pluming in there. So it's like micro plume, but like what a lovely fluffy big big bird feather that is right there. You know, just like a big yellow, you know, down pillow feather of plume. Fun. Okay, so I'm sure that in here is some more kind of more quintessential-ish plume. There's a little bit of dendrite-y action going on there. Teeny weeny. So this jar, now that I'm having a look, might have been some really mixed grade stuff. There's some kind of neat plume going on right there. Look at the fire. Look at that fire. The yellows and oranges and reds, like decked by the black. That's some nice detail. Oh, and then there's some going on right there too. These are little. That's a nice color though. Oh, what's going on here? You definitely have to work all the way around. Like some of these, you know, they present in a total zipper, and so you just like know exactly where to look for the pluminess, and others will ramble around quite a bit. Yeah, love that fire. No kidding. Definitely what we're looking for. You can picture Karen going, "Talk to me, Goose." She tries to figure out how the rock wants to be carved. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, people loving on the freeform Bob's Rocks, talking about not looking like another production piece, which is kind of why I like to stray away from that for sure. Although the symmetry is lovely about you know, symmetrical shapes. Sometimes I don't want to do something that is predictable, like a full-on freeform, but I end up with a triangle or something like that. Sometimes that's just what they want to do. Hey Jeff, good to see you. Yeah, that lavender was lovely, huh? And yeah, you know, I'm not sure about opalescence, possible, or it could be the way that the light's hitting it. Here's some brightness. So what's sad about this is that if that had the agate on top of it, it would totally be Regency. And so I want to go in from the other side and see if there's plumes coming up through this little nug that are the Regency red, because that is the folks who have that claim is where we got the permission to go. And so that's what you want. As far as some of the, like, hey Ken, you know that love the red. Well, yeah, the Regency red is like the famous red from the graveyard. Although the graveyard blue is something very, very special, but I mean, you want to go straight in there. This would be kind of like excavating a what am I thinking of? A fire agate, where, you know, like, okay, you know from the bottom that it's gonna be happening, and so you start trying to uncover what's good from the top. I don't know. That's going to be a really challenging piece, though. I do need to get a fantasy machine, Greg. So bad. Okay, one of these things is not like the other. You guys know for sure that this isn't from Graveyard, right? Who wants to hazard a guess what this shard is from? Yeah, I'm betting that the tendrils will come through the chalcedony as well, Lisa. That would be so awesome. Did you, Ken? And what was your thought? You're like, that couldn't be from Graveyard. Yep, 100%, Ken. Good eye. Absolutely. And probably just got collected on the same trip or something. here's some more material from that same vein that I pulled that very, very first very large chunk out of that has the marcasite. Has some really nice presentations of some white, as you can see. Gosh, those are more like snowflakes than plume. And so, whoops, it polishes like a carnelian. It is just so carnelian-y that, you know, it's stunning. It's super gemmy too. I've polished a few of these pieces and it is a delight. Like by the time you're on the last stage of polishing, you're just giddy. So good. Okay, let's see. Let me pan out a little bit. Okay, so here's another bit of that Regency, you guys. Just presenting a little bit more in the whoa pink zone. Oh, this one keeps on getting better and better. I'm setting this aside. Yeah, look at those layers. And druzy. So a lot of the people that go after the graveyard don't want the druzy. This looks like candy. Look like grandma's ribbon candy or something. So when it has the druzy, they get all bummed out because, you know, it doesn't slab as well. And for me, as far as making unique cabs or carvers, this is just absolutely exactly what I'm looking for. That's all druzy right there. And so you get that color bumping up through. You got this lemon pocket right there. That whole top is like, whoa, look at it. It's wet and it's still doing that. And then we've got some kind of like, that's where the gem would go. So get rid of that. Just do a polish job on that. Leave the druzy unpolished. So just polish the sides. And rinse and set. Right? Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh yeah. That's a project coming up very, very soon. Yeah, okay, so I'm catching back up. Beautiful fire and gold tones. Red is gorgeous. People are loving it. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a gem. So that goes in the oh my gosh pile. And so this is a real mixed bag. I was like wondering for a bit, like maybe if I had like put castaways. This is everything. That's kind of a neat one. More of that kind of more carnelian-y stuff. This bin is going to be super hard to this is going to be super hard to go through. I can't even talk. I'm curious about this stuff. It looks like, remember how I was saying that I've got that sort of floral patterny stuff that was in the wrong batch over on the Maury side? This is some more of it. And so that needs to get put someplace else. So boy, this really is a mixed bag. Is everything you collect out there? Oh no. Oh yeah, Jared. Yeah, cool fortifications in that one, definitely. But back to Jared. No, I've got huge pieces from Graveyard, and we've gone several trips, and so I have a lot of material from there. But this particular jar that we're looking at was of some material that I probably got, like, gosh, could be, it's at least 3 years old, if not more. And we I got a lot of larger pieces that I broke. I cleaved them. So this is off, this piece here is off of this piece here, probably. Like these pieces at the very least are from the same vein, if not from the same rock. I used to break the pieces a lot, you know, before saws came into my life. I did a lot of breaking, and then I just do freeform from the breaks. And then I got a saw, and I still prefer the freeforms. And so I like to go through the broken material, but now I have more choices as far as that's concerned. A lot of people don't do freeforms because they already have a slab, so they, do a shape and then they, refine the shape. So I kind of came in it from the opposite direction. But yeah, I've got some especially big stuff out the back door in the backyard. So this is actually, that's an agate that was more of like a river agate, and that's it's orbital or orbicular. And so there's kind of like your ocean jaspery kind of stuff. I guess this could be either considered chalcedony, or I don't think it's jasper. It's kind of clear. But yeah, it's that is in the wrong bin as well. That's a cool one though. Like that. Okay, moving back over here. Lots of this, this is the wrong stuff. This is that floral stuff. Although I keep on saying that it's floral and you guys aren't seeing it because this is just like tiny, tiny black dendrite-y stuff with some white, but there's some really fancy stuff throughout the rocks that I did find that this is a part of. This is just a less interesting piece of it that cleaved off. Although that's kind of still interesting. I like the black and white. And one thing that's funny from a jewelry designer's perspective is neutral colors like black and white actually sell really well, as opposed to, you might have this like flamboyant plume, and if somebody doesn't see that going with their outfit or something like that, they might not, be as drawn to it as like a really nicely done neutral piece that'll go with everything. Let's see. Yeah, this is more of that. So not seeing any super spectacular other pieces of the plume. That's kind of weird though. That looks like it's in the wrong place too. What are you? Are you a piece of petrified wood? I'm almost feeling like that. I think. Okay, I'm curious now. Okay, how close can I get you guys? It's interesting in there, huh? This is the side that had me wondering about the pet woodness. I don't know. No, that's probably just agate, huh? Yeah, that looks like a seam. Agreeing. Yeah, it's just like, look at the angle that it broke on. A lot of times the pet wood will do that. Look at how perfect that angle is. See that cleave? That's crazy. So a lot of times wood likes to break on certain planes of itself. And when I felt that flesh side, I was like, oh, it feels really woody. And sometimes, burls and stuff like that will agatize like this, like be all wild. And that little sweep, that wave that's right there, that kind of looks pet woodish. I don't know. I'll probably have to look at this one under a loop and have a look. See a better look. But yeah, I agree. It's probably seam. All right. Well, that was a fun bin. And we have some winners, I think. Yeah. I'm especially
excited about that one druzy piece, you guys. I'll probably start carving on that maybe tomorrow. If we don't head back to the surf, or it's not really the surf that we're after right now. We've been doing the wing foiling, which for me, since I'm learning, it's more on it's better on flat water, so that I don't get taken out by a current while we're trying to learn our new sport. And so, gosh, I hope that you guys are going to be able to get out for the weekend too, and to doing some rock hounding or some fun in the sun. I realize we're going into that season where everybody's going to be going off in a bunch of different directions. And if you are, awesome. If you're not, then definitely want to go and check out Kyle's live stream and hang out with everybody. I think that the wind is supposed to be super, super heavy tomorrow, and so I don't think we'll be going out because I think it's a little too much. But I think we'll be trying for a couple days after that if we can. Watch Karen disappear over the horizon, right? Like, that's a thing. You definitely get into some trouble pretty quick, because the wind will take you in one direction or two directions if you're good. And then, like, if you factor in current and some other things, like, you might find yourself in a totally different place, and you either are a good swimmer, or you might have to portage on land if you can make it there, or then you're really worried if you can't do any of those things. And they are all winners. Gosh, yeah, we had some really, really pretty things come up tonight. And thank you guys for your help with the fossils. That was super interesting. And it's always fun to try to figure out what you've got and sleuth around. We'll play with the microscope some more. One thing that I totally found out was that after the acid bath, for the one piece that I was showing you that looks like it's got two big eyes looking at us, I took some of the dirt that had been extracted from the acid, collected that, and put that under the microscope. And what was really interesting was that all of the forams were like beautifully cleaned. The ones that survived were in great shape. And so that might actually be something that we look at under the microscope next week, because I didn't know that that was going to be such a good procedure to prep forams. And so I don't know how geeked out you are over those, the microfossils, but it was like the best look that I've had at some of the microfossils so far. I just had to figure out what I was looking at. And so let's see what we've got. Thank you, Randy, for saying that it was another good show. Next time you can get a tour of the display shelf. Remind me though, because I don't know if I'll remember in 2 weeks. Reminder, next week we have the podcast, so definitely show up for that. And serious Aaron, no time. Hang in for 10 minutes. You know, one of the places that we like to go, they do a lot of kiteboarding, and so does Steve. And seriously, we were watching these people sprack these airs like 40 feet and just, you know, like hanging onto the board, doing a grab, just awesomeness. And so, yeah, that's not going to be me. If I'm in the air, it's probably a bad thing for now. Okay, let's see. The microscope. Okay, Lisa. Cut. Yes, Randy. We'll be doing some of that. And thank you, Kyle. Thanks for the thanks, and thank you for making a place for everybody to hang out on Saturdays. That does sound like a scoop that goes up your nose, Ken. Thank you, 775. I didn't even see you come in. And peace to you, Afia Raka. I'll see you over there at the Discord. You guys, if you're not part of the Discord yet, definitely join up. And thank you, Rocky Mountain Bear, and everybody, Greg and Lisa, everybody out there. Thank you so much for joining us again for another fun Friday hangout. And we will definitely see you next time. Take care of yourselves. Cheers.